I'd like to welcome you all here to INCOM to highlight the Workforce Training Fund grant program. We're honored to have you all here, and we're looking forward to a nice program. I'd also like to welcome our consortium partners, HT Machine Company, Swiss Turn, A&M Tool and Die, and GNF Industries. Some other key partners in this venture, Commonwealth Corporation, Rob Duncan is here, Mass MEP, members of the media, we also welcome you, and members of the Central Massachusetts Workforce Investment Board. This group initiated and championed, along with Mass MEP, the formation of our consortium. I believe today they are represented by Phil Nidry and Sean McGauley. And I now have the privilege to introduce you to Jeff Turgeon. Jeff Turgeon will kick off today's program. He's the Executive Director of the Central Mass Workforce Development Board and played a key role in the entire program. Please help me welcome Jeff Turgeon.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. And on behalf of the Southern Worcester County Manufacturing Consortium, I thank you all for being here, braving the elements to come out today. Now, as many of you may know, the role of the Central Mass Workforce Investment Board is to bring industry and public partners together to ensure there's a strong workforce within our region. One of the things that we've been hearing about is the need to strengthen our workforce for manufacturing. And so as a result, we came together to talk about creating a consortium to train staff from different companies in the areas which they had shared training needs. This maximizes public training dollars while allowing smaller manufacturers a chance to access world-class training for their staff. Before I get into discussing the consortium's partners, I would like to thank Secretary Goldstein and the staff over at the Workforce Training Fund program for all the support that they gave to our project. I think Rob Duncan is here, and I know Mike Corcoran is involved with that program as well. So thank you for your support of our project, which I believe was the first consortium project to actually get funded in the state. Now, in terms of the consortium's partners, I'd like to thank the Mass MEP for all their guidance and work to help to put the project together, and for delivering their outstanding training modules. So I know we have some folks here. Jim Gusha is here. Karen is here as well from the Mass MEP. Also, Dick Ayers did a lot of work on the project, along with Leslie Parody and all the staff under Jack Healy's direction over at the Mass MEP. I'd also like to thank Kathy Joy, who's the Director of Workforce Central in Southbridge, as well as Deb Belageron, the Business Service Representative, for the work that their team did to help guide the project, and also for hosting many of the trainings that were performed as part of the consortium's efforts. And I do want to echo, Michael had mentioned Phil Nidry back there in the corner, who did a lot of the work to organize the logistics of the trainings and helping ensure that the attendance was right for the training session. So really kind of corralled all the different pieces. And I think after this project, you're now certified to herd cats in the Tri-County area, from what I understand. Most of all, though, I'd like to thank the employer partners. We initially reached out to a lot of different companies to talk about this shared training concept. And, you know, not all were very enthusiastic about it. Some were a bit skeptical about it. And so these 5 companies stepped up to give it a try with us. Now, I know there's some folks representing the different companies here, so I'll give a call out. We have Steve Layton, president of HT Machine Company. There we are. Jocelyn Matulis from Swiss Turn USA. Along with Michael, we have Mara Grossman and the other staff here for INCOM, of course. Robert Ray from A&M Tool and Die. Mark Berry and Gary DeGroat from GNF Industries. So again, thank you for all the work that you did on the project to make it such a success. The consortium was scheduled to go, the project was scheduled to go 2 years, but once we got the ball rolling, we were actually able to accomplish it in just over 1. And the results have actually been pretty amazing. Now, for the state's investment of a little more than $100,000, the project helped companies reduce their scrap, their rework, and their returns while increasing sales. The project included 341 training slots and over 140,000 total training man-hours during the life of the project. Another aspect that was great to hear about was that the companies reported an increase in staff morale, which was something that was above and beyond the measured metrics that we had. And the project is also on track to meet its anticipated long-term goals for job creation, retention, and promotions. As I mentioned, It was a success in terms of staff morale, and all the 5 companies expressed interest in continuing with the Workforce Training Fund program in the future, 1 branching out of their own and the other 4 being a part of a second phase of a consortium project. In fact, as word spread about the consortium's success, others had wanted to come on board, and I'm happy to report that we've had such strong interest in submitting a second round that we've broken the project into 2 separate projects with 11 total companies taking part. So expanding from 5 to 11 companies and breaking it out into 2. So Rob and Secretary, if you're out there putting a plug in now, that it'll be coming your way very soon. Also, for our partnerships effort, the consortium was named a 2013 Workforce Partnership of the Year by the Mass Workforce Solutions Group. So in closing, the project was a great example of what can happen when the private sector and public sectors work together. I would certainly highly recommend it to other companies that are out there, either on your own or as part of a consortium effort, and the CMWIB and our partners stand ready to help you make that happen if you desire. I'm now going to turn it back over to Michael to talk a bit more from an employer's perspective. Michael, thanks.
Thank you, Jeff. So in order to give a reasonable testimonial about how important this program was to us, I have to take you through a little bit of history. I promise I won't drag you through too much, but it's important to know where we've come from, where my father and my brother and I and our whole organization has come over the last 42 years to get a good understanding on why the Workforce Training Grant is so valuable to us. So here at INCOM, we've been manufacturing fiber optic products in Massachusetts for over 42 years. From our humble beginnings of 4 people in an old mill building in Southbridge, we have grown to employ more than 200 people over 3 different facilities, including the one we're standing in today. Last year alone, we manufactured products for over 250 customers in more than 30 different countries. It was never easy. When new technologies arise, existing technologies become obsolete, and INCOM has been on the downside of that evolutionary process more than a few times, sometimes even causing us to ask ourselves, are we done here? However, in every case, when faced with the challenge of starting over, we did so with an unwavering effort from our greatest asset, our employees. It's our collective team that has carried the day when challenges have arisen, and it is our people who will carry us through a very promising future. That said, each year it becomes more challenging to manufacture domestically and compete globally. Each year, wages increase, payroll taxes go up, and the cost to provide our employees with quality health care seems to go up without limit. How do we do it? How do we survive without throwing our hands up and changing the dynamic which has helped us to endure for 42 years? How do we not say, in order to compete, it's time to replace people with machines, or even worse, it's time to move manufacturing offshore? It's simple. We look to the resource that has gotten us through every challenge in our history, our people. If we're going to continue to compete abroad, we're going to have to find solutions that ensure that our innovation and productivity outpaces the financial challenges that face us domestically. We must invest in our workforce and provide them with the expertise and skills to outperform their counterparts around the world so we can continue to manufacture here in the greatest country on earth. The Workforce Training Grant is a critical investment in reaching that goal and keeping good manufacturing jobs right here in Massachusetts. It's always a challenge to find money in any budget for workforce training, even when the benefits are obvious. When our state steps forward and says, if you're willing to invest in your people, we're willing to match that investment dollar for dollar, we reach a tipping point. A tipping point where the decision to invest in people easily outweighs the choice to invest in labor-free solutions. In most all cases, when we invest in our people, our return on investment goes beyond dollars and cents. We are rewarded with a team that is dedicated to the job at hand and with the skills to contribute in profound and rewarding ways. I'm proud to say that through these initiatives, our products have been able to reach both the highest technology markets as well as cost-critical commercial markets, which 5 years ago would have been unthinkable for fused fiber optics. While the details might be different, I hear very similar testimonials from our other member companies in this consortium and believe that the fundamentals of our story can be heard at almost any manufacturer. With that, on behalf of INCOM and the 4 other grant recipients, I'd like to extend our tremendous gratitude to the Secretary of Labor and Workforce Development. As a member of Governor Patrick's cabinet, the Secretary works tirelessly across agency and department lines to spur economic growth and job creation here in Massachusetts. We are very pleased to say that we are proof that her work is paying dividends right here in central Massachusetts.
You can see in the display here, we actually start with a bar and a tube of glass. and then we go through 3 different draw stages. So you can actually see the taper of the glass through each of the draw stages. After drawing, we'll assemble the fiber into a metal shell. That's a very small version of what we do. We actually do very large shells up to 14 inches by 14 inches by 11 inches long. And then after we heat and we press it into a block, you're left with a block of fiber optic material. You can actually see, as you walk past, you'll see the image of the INCOM logo is actually on the back side of the fiber optic, and it's being transmitted through the optic to the output surface. So.
To give you some scale, we draw the fiber down to about 1/20th the diameter of a human hair, and we bundle those all together. On a plate the size, the one in the middle, there's over 4 billion fibers all coherently aligned in that one fiber optic plate to transfer an image with very high integrity.
It's funny because Senator Brewer mentioned that you know what the folks work on here is some pretty high-tech products, and I have the pleasure of once a quarter getting all the employees together and just talking about the status of the business. And one of the things that I emphasize with them all the time is that when somebody comes to you, one of your family members or whatever, and asks you, what do you do at INCOM? Okay, we don't want them to go to their family and say, I draw fiber or I grind glass. Because what they actually do is they participate in making products for genome sequencing, for pharmaceutical research, for night vision, for all kinds of high technology products. And nothing says that we value our employees and the contributions that they make by as much as letting them know that we're willing to invest in them and in their future. And so that's what the Workforce Training Fund has helped us to do. We've done lots of training in lean, we've done leadership training, we've done problem solving, you know, all the different tools that our employees need in order to be successful. In this area here, it's kind of where the flow of all of our material starts. All right, we purchase hundreds of thousands of pounds of glass a year that we store at an off-site facility, and we'll bring it here in small batches throughout the week, and the process will start right here.
Could you tell us how you heard about the Workforce Training Fund?
Well, we have a strong relationship with Mass MEP, who got us involved and introduced us to the Workforce Training Fund and encouraged us that we were a company who could significantly benefit from this fund.
And can you tell us a little bit about how you did benefit from it?
Sure. We trained a significant number of our employees in certain skills that help to advance their ability to manufacture the products that we make. We are a domestic manufacturer but a global supplier, and the challenges are eternal to be able to do things better, faster, quicker, more efficient, and more competitive. So it's really critical for us that we need to continually advance the skill set of our workforce to be able to keep up with the global demand and challenges of global competition.
And with this grant, you were a part of a consortium, so there were 4 other employers that teamed up with Mass MEP and the Workforce Investment Board to carry out this grant. So what were your thoughts on doing it in a consortium model?
We're actually very in favor of doing a consortium model. Anytime you can add critical mass to a program that you're working on, you kind of assure that it has enough basis to be successful and to endure and make sure things go through smoothly. Because as things arise for one company or another, you never know what the economic conditions might be. But when you have a group as big as the one that we have, the training goes very well. You learn new people. You meet new people.
Yeah.
You learn new things. And when you learn concepts that apply to your business, it's very applicable and appropriate. However, also seeing how those concepts apply to maybe somebody else's business helps you get a more fundamental understanding of what it is that you're trying to learn. And so incorporating other companies and other products into the model really, I think, gives a more diverse and well-rounded education.
And you also get a piece of networking, and you get to see kind of a peek into somebody else's shop, their culture, workforce culture.
I'd lie if I said we don't, that we've never stolen little tricks and techniques from some of the companies that we've always gone to see. Every tour I've ever been on, or every company I've ever spoken with, you always learn something clever that they've come up with and ways to solve problems or deal with things that you didn't think of in the past. So it's always a good thing.
And it sounded like it was a big success in the press event. They mentioned that you guys had met your goals that you had set for 2 years in 1 year.
Yeah, it's like anything else when you set down this path and you invest resources, both time, money, and people resources. You hope that you achieve the goals that you set out to achieve, and the fact that we did it in 1 year really is a testament to the program itself, to the companies that were involved, and to the other organizations that helped facilitate the program as well. So it was definitely a group effort.
And for employers and businesses listening, is this something you would recommend? Is it something that's going to take a lot of time and it's not going to be worth the effort? What do you think?
It's something I highly recommend. It's always challenging. We always try to put budgets together, and there's never a lot of room in a budget to be able to say, let's do some workforce training. The fact that it's matched funds from the state really makes the decision easy to say, yes, okay, this is something that makes a lot of sense for us. It will pay us a return in the long run, and just we need to make the commitment to do it and do it well, and continue to advance our workforce. That it's challenging to justify both the time and the money up front, but once you do it and once you've done it, you look back and you say, boy, that was really money well spent.
And it's a real, it's easy to see that INCOM has really utilized this and believes in this program, because I actually found out today that you guys are applying for another workforce training fund.
We are. The first one has gone so successful for us, and the benefits that we've seen from it go beyond just dollars and cents. Having the ability to continually train our employees and give them higher skills and advanced abilities, and to be able to do new things and participate in ways that they hadn't done before really it significantly improves the morale of our organization. And once we tie that all together and we're all going in the same direction, as a company, I'm very pleased that our company has the best morale that I've ever seen. It's very, very high, and our ability to solve problems is better than it's ever been. So it might be hard to pin down the exact value of the program as if I had to put a dollar value on it, but the intrinsic value of the benefits that we've gotten from it are immeasurable, and something that are very obvious to anyone who's been inside these walls for 20 years.
Well, Michael, thank you for taking a couple minutes to talk to us today, and also thank you for allowing us into your beautiful facility here and hosting us for the press event. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much. We're glad to have you, and we're very proud of our organization and our facility, and we look forward to another successful grant.